Now that's how you do it. You wait for your backup to show up before jumping in the ring against two opponents. Also, we have some Money in the Bank qualifiers. These are my assorted thoughts on the May 19th, 2025 WWE RAW. Welcome to Silo Voice Wrestling on YouTube and the Silo Voice Wrestling podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. I'm Jason C. McLean. So I'm recording this the night after, May 20th, 2025, shortly before 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Let's jump right in. First off, all the best to Zoe Stark. Get well soon, heal up, best wishes, good vibes, thoughts and prayers, the whole deal. Now, when I was watching Raw, I was into this match, the triple threat match qualifier for Money in the Bank, and the second one on the show. And I was definitely into the match, but I looked away for a second. I was distracted, so I missed Zoe coming in with a missile drop kick, which usually looks great, and I guess landing the wrong way and getting seriously injured. I turned up at the second. I was like, they're going to show a replay. But from what I've heard, you don't want to see a replay of that one. It was particularly nasty and very real. They had to cut away. Unfortunate that Zoe was injured in the middle of the match. She had been injured before. She was back. And, you know, her two former teammates have been released, but they still have faith in her. And hopefully she's, you know, going to start becoming part of the storylines again. But unfortunately, it's going to have to wait a while. Hopefully she's back soon. Hopefully she feels better. In these cases, that's the important thing. You know, you don't want to see anybody get injured with but also with such a simple move that they've done a million times before. So yeah, get well, Zoe Stark. Now back to the world of wrestling. Rhea won the match and qualified for Money in the Bank. Now I'm wondering actually if that was the original plan, or if when maybe somehow Rhea was going to be distracted by somebody and Kairi was going to pin Zoe, because based on the first match, it seemed like they were going for more the mid-card types, not the big stars in the women's match, the women's Money in the Bank match. And maybe once they found Rhea and, you know, Kairi one-on-one in the ring, there's like no logical way at this point that they could beat Rhea clean, have Kairi beat Rhea clean. So they changed it. But no, I'm going to go with that. It was the original plan. And it was a good match. It was really nice to see Kairi Sane back again. She's low-key one of my favorites that I've missed. Also was Dakota Kai, but she's not coming back. Kairi looked great in the match. Again, really colorful outfit. Really, I don't think they're really pushing the damage control thing with Kairi anymore. I think maybe if Asuka comes back, they'll start pushing that. She's just Kairi. I don't even remember if they introduced her as representing damage control. She's just Kairi Sane. Maybe Asuka will come back. She'll go for a tag championship or something like that. But yeah, okay. So good match. Rhea looks strong and massively over. I'm wondering what a Money in the Bank match is going to look like with Rhea in it. I mean, is it possible that anyone besides Rhea wins that? Also, at this point in her career, I could definitely see her holding the briefcase, but it seems maybe it's going to play into a major story or something like that. She's a babyface, so if she wins, she's probably not going to do, you know, a heelish, you know, cash in at the last minute. Maybe she'll turn something into a triple threat match. I don't know. But good match. Glad Rhea made Money in the Bank. And so did Roxanne Perez, beating Natalya with the Pop Rocks after Lyra Valkyria attacked Becky Lynch. Becky had beaten her off, and I thought were they going to give it to Natalya? No, I didn't think they were going to give it to Natalya. But when Roxanne won, I was pretty sure that Kairi was going to win, because Roxanne is not like a huge star like Becky Lynch, although she's kind of been unofficially on the main roster for like on and off for about a year now. So it was a good match. It was I really love the spot where Natalya got both of them in a double sharpshooter. That looked great. Natalya, I mean, she's not going to win these things, but, you know, every now and then it's possible. And I think she's more of a trainer now, but they bring her in when they need somebody else for the matches, and she definitely delivers. She delivered in this match. Becky Lynch looked great, and it furthered the Becky-Lyra storyline. Now Lyra had a real, even as a babyface, a justifiable reason to screw over Becky Lynch, and now Becky has more reason to go after her. So obviously they're keeping that feud going. And I like that Roxanne wins. She was in Royal Rumble. She was in Elimination Chamber. Now she's legitimately on the Raw roster. Welcome. More on her later. And yeah, she's going to be in Money in the Bank. And this was a really well done, fun to watch match. from three pros, all of whom can definitely work, can definitely deliver, and can definitely bring the excitement. This was an excellent TV match. Back to what I teased in the intro. Yes, this is how you do it, Sami Zayn. My guy, Sami Zayn, you wait for your backup to show up when you know your backup's there before jumping into the ring. I was confused a bit when it happened. Sami Zayn comes down after the DQ, after Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker were beating up Jey Uso. He comes down, but he just stands outside of the ring. I'm like, what's he waiting for? Isn't he just going to jump in and then eventually Punk's going to come out? And then, well, no, he waited for Punk's music to hit and he came down. This massive pop for Sami Zayn. The crowd was like singing the lyrics to CM Punk's song as he's doing basically a run in. And of course, we had the fight, Sami Zayn, CM Punk versus Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, setting up the Saturday night's main event match. I've heard people speculate, and I always get nervous that maybe Sami's going to be the third guy on that team because Jey Uso's not going to be involved in that match because he's got his own match, and that Sami Zayn's going to turn on Punk. I really hope it's not going to happen. I don't think WWE will do it because Sami Zayn, as it was proven that night, it's very much over as a babyface. And him and Punk are definitely two of the people in contention for the World Heavyweight Championship. And maybe once Jey Uso is ultimately defeated through no fault of their own, they might both be trying to get it. So this, I'm looking forward to that match. I think it's going to be a really good match. And of course, the match that preceded this, Jey Uso versus Braun Breaker, was a good match, but it was predictable. Paul Heyman, interferes or draws Jay's iron, and Rollins causes the DQ. That match was more about weakening Jey Uso. But of course, Jay ended up standing tall until Logan Paul came in and punched him, which was, of course, targeting back to the beginning of the show where Jay attacked Logan after Logan was distracted and focused on Gunther. Now, Logan Paul versus Gunther, I don't think we're ever going to see it. But if you want to make Gunther a babyface instead of the massive heel they've been working very hard to make him, have him go against Logan Paul, because I'm pretty sure people will be wanting to see Gunther kick Logan Paul's ass, because Logan Paul is more of a pure heel. Even Tyrese Halliburton wouldn't say Logan Paul's going to win because he doesn't need to be his heel buddy in New York City. And he also wants some, some babyface appeal for the upcoming playoffs. So he said yeet in the interview later. But yeah, I liked how this was a through line for the show. We had involving Logan Paul, Gunther, Braun Breaker, Seth Rollins, and Jey Uso. It was sort of a continuous story with different facets. We had Rollins talking to Logan Paul, to sort of like basically say, you're going to win, but then you're going to go after me. I'm going to help you. Kind of smarmy, kind of heel stuff. We had Seth Rollins talking tough verbally with Gunther. Gunther got him back. We had Paul Heyman basically telling Jey Uso how it was going to be. What I would love to see at some point, though, would be Paul Heyman trying to intimidate or be sleazy when talking to Gunther, because I don't think Gunther would put up with it for a second. I think character-wise, Gunther would almost have to just shove Paul at that moment because he knows he can beat him up. I don't think we're ever going to see that encounter, but it would be amazing if we saw it. But I like the way they laid this line out throughout the entire show, from the beginning right to the end, setting up two matches at Saturday night's main event and the subsequent match on the Raw after Money in the Bank. Gee, I wonder if there's a world title match on the Raw right after Money in the Bank. I wonder if the briefcase might make an appearance in that match. We'll see where we go from there. I enjoyed Sheamus versus Grayson Waller because it's always nice to see Grayson Waller's ass get kicked, and it's always nice to see Sheamus do his thing. I got to see Sheamus live at his, not the last return, but the one before that in Montreal. Really fun, especially chanting along with the beats of the Bod Rain. But of course, the real highlight of this match was Austin Theory basically teasing once again that he's going to split with Grayson Waller, although maybe he's just, getting Grayson Waller back for last week. I love it how Theory sort of urged Waller, we urged him back into the waiting arms of Sheamus. That's where we got the beats of the Bod Rain. Fun match. Penta and AJ Styles versus Finn Balor and JD McDonough, was a good, entertaining match. A lot of good in-ring work. But of course, it was predictable. We had the Judgment Day interference, and then we had El Grande Americano, not as who's back from his big tour, giving the loaded headbutt, causing the dirty victory. Obviously, I'm hoping that Adam Pearce, they almost did it when Gable was talking to him, sets up a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier between some random person, maybe Penta, Chad Gable, and El Grande Americano, and see how they work that one. But of course, with the Judgment Day story, it was more interesting later in backstage when Finn Balor brought in Roxanne Perez, not as a full member, but somebody to help out the two people who probably want her there the least, Raquel Rodriguez, who made that clear, and Liv Morgan. Now, we have seen Roxanne and Finn talking backstage over the past few weeks in some of those segments, so I can't say it's exactly a surprise, but it's funny. Of course, he'll bring her in when Liv's away, and of course, she gave the present to Dirty Dom, the chicken tendies or chicken nuggies or whatever, and like, I mean, that's the way to the man's heart. Like, it seems like, obviously, Finn's trying to set it up for Roxanne to take Dom away to get out Liv and Raquel because they don't really like him because they're trying to get rid of him. They've been stretching this for a while. The Judgment Day a seeming breakup or realignment is the gift that keeps on giving. If you think about it, though, maybe if Dom's going to go babyface as Intercontinental Champion, maybe Liv and Raquel are going to go babyface too. And I mean, I kind of like them in their heel characters. Hopefully they don't change their characters, but because you can't really babyface the rest of the Judgment Day, or maybe they will. Who knows? But the fans are going to like Liv and Dom more than they're going to like Finn and Roxanne. Finn and Roxanne are not exactly Rhea and Liv, but Finn Balor has been involved, has played a major part in every Judgment Day member change. Yes, it was Damian and Rhea who agreed to it, but he was the one who physically kicked Edge out of the Judgment Day. And then he was the one who orchestrated the whole Liv coming in and pushing out Rhea and Damian. And now he might be pushing out Liv and, well, no, I think he wants to keep Dom, but I don't think they're going to have Dom, do the whole same thing again where he goes with Roxanne over Liv. That would be too much. And I mean, yeah, Dom, he's Dirty Dom, but still, I think keeping him and Liv together really works. I think it might have even worked better than him and Rhea together. So I don't think they'll go with him and Roxanne. But of course, we'll see how this plays out. This was definitely a very entertaining part of the show, at least for me. And these were my assorted thoughts on the May 19th, 2025 WWE RAW. It was the go-home Raw for Saturday night's main event. It's kind of weird you have a go-home show for a TV show, and there's actually two go-home TV shows for a TV show, but it's Saturday night's main event. Things are getting really interesting. This was a solidly put together Raw. There was that unfortunate accident from Zoe Stark. I'm sure that I'm wondering if that changed their plans at all, but the most important thing is get well Zoe. And again, I love the reaction that Sami Zayn and CM Punk got, two of my favorite guys. I like the fact that we're able to work as smart baby faces. Sami waited he knew Punk was coming out. He waited for Punk's music to hit. They still had to have their separate entrances, but he waited for Punk's music to hit before coming out. What did you think of this Raw? What do you think of my assorted thoughts? Let me know in the comments. Follow at Silo Voice Wrestling on Facebook and Instagram, at Silo Wrestling on X, and me at Jason C. McLean on X and Instagram. And follow me on Blue Sky, jasoncmclean.bsky.social. So, back in the driver's seat, my first regular assorted thoughts on Raw in a while. As I mentioned on the SmackDown assorted thoughts, I had sort of been on a little hiatus, still watching everything, but taking some time off after WrestleMania because of things going on. It's not always the best time to do that. But yeah, now I'm back, and see if I can get some prediction videos up, maybe for Saturday night's main event. But for Silo Voice Studios in Montreal, I'm Jason C. McLean.